Now we will see how Ibrahim al-Islam gives the message to mankind, because they had planned and everybody is involved, how to differentiate and how to get out of those idols. Now the problem is, you must not forget that whatever I have explained is within a human himself. It's a human psyche. I explained these idols. How they become idols I also explained, but how Ibrahim al-Islam break these idols. Surah Al-An'am 6 and 74. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ أَتَتَّخِذُ أَصْنَامًا آلِهَةً إِنِّي أَرَاكَ وَقَوْمَكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And when Ibrahim said for his father Azar, do you take idols, gods? Surely I see you and your people in clear estranged. Now the word is asnam, which means beloved idols, plural. Sanam was singular idol, and asnam is plural beloved idols. Aliha is gods. What are those idols, beloved idols? Can anyone tell? All I have described. They are all related to this. They have become gods. And how I told you, explained to you those names and how they are involved. So Ibrahim al-Islam is saying, is informing his father, Azar, do you take idols, gods, idol gods? Surely I see you and your people in clear estranged. So if you are involved in this, you are in clear estranged. You cannot attain message of God if you are involved in these. You are stuck up in these. You are in clear estranged. And further, he explained in Surah As-Saffat why people are involved and how. As-Saffat 37 and ayah 95. قَالَ تَعْبُدُونَ مَا تَنْحِتُونَ. He said, do you worship, serve what you have carved? Meaning that Ibrahim al-Islam is informing mankind that you yourself have carved. It is not that you fell in love, you are infatuated, and now you are starting to make an imaginary behavior or thing of that personality that you are in love. What is not real, you have carved yourself. Like for example, I've got a personality. You may think I am like that in something may be right. But where I'm not like what you are imagining about me is carving in your mind. That is known as you have carved. You have made that personality as an idol. So this is what you serve what you have carved. In your own mind you have got a creation. One is the reality and one is the fantasy, or in fact not real fantasy. The same personality you make yourself, you carve. He's not like that, but you make him like that in your own mind. It is your own self-creation. You have carved. That is the reason Ibrahim al-Islam explaining. And further he says in Surah Al-Ankabut 29th Surah and ayah 25. وَقَالَ إِنَّمَا اتَّخَذْتُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَوْثَانًا مَوَدَّةَ بَيْنِكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا ثُمَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكْفُرُ بَعْضُكُمْ بِبَعْضٍ وَيَلْعَنُ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا وَمَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارُ وَمَا لَكُمْ مِن نَاصِرِينَ. And he said, Ibrahim said, surely you have taken idols other than Allah out of mutual love between yourselves. In this life, then on the day of judgment, you shall reject some of you with some and curse some of you to some, and your abode is the fire. And for you there will be no one from the helpers. Now the reason given by Ibrahim al-Islam of making each other as idols is because of mutual love. Love each other. Of course, you can love each other in true sense, but they should not exceed the governing ayahs of Allah, the do's and the don'ts. You must refrain to that. You should not exceed in that love. So what is happening, that you are loving each other. I love you, you love me back, so that I get my respect and honor. I scratch your back, you scratch my back, meaning I praise you, you praise me. And each other we are saying lies, not truth. Not truth. So that is known as, out of mutual love, you have done this idol. You have made each other an idol by overlooking the faults and blindly say loving, and then you are attached to each other by mutual love. I respect you, you respect me. I love you, you love me. I praise you, you praise me. This is the reason. And all the others I've interlinked. Longing, he's also longing, he's also doing this, you are also doing this. All this, you're involved. So Allah says, then on the day of judgment, you shall reject some of you with some, and curse of you to some, and your abode is fire, and for you there will be no one from the helpers. Why would you do this? Because on that day, the reality will come that you are lying each other by praising each other falsely, and just to gain the love of affection each other. If it's the truth, it's not wrong, but if it's lie, because normally how it becomes an idol? Awthanan, because of mutual love to each other. Surpassing the law of the governing ayahs. So Ibrahim alayhi salam plans for the idol, how to break the idols. So he says in Surah Al-Anbiya 21, ayah 57, وَتَاللَّهِ لَأَكِيدَنَّ أَصْنَامَكُمْ بَعْدَ أَن تُوَلُّوا مُدْبِرِينَ. And by Allah, I will machinate to devise artfully to your idols after you turn your backs. So Ibrahim alayhi salam says, I will devise artfully to your idols after you turn your backs. What is turning of your backs? Meaning is, when a person is sitting in, like for example, at the moment, everybody or people living this lecture all over where brother mentioned, they are not emotionally worked up. They are not emotionally worked up. Their feelings are behind them, and intellectually they're using your logic and reason to understand what's going on. So that is turning your backs to your idols. They are everybody has got these feelings and emotions in her or in him. So once he is listening to the talk, so he is turned his backs towards the idols. That is turning the backs to the idols. Meaning that intellect is in front of them, or the wisdom is in front of them, by using the power of reasoning to understand what you're listening. But once the emotions are in front of somebody, he's emotionally worked up, and you explain to somebody, he will not understand, because he's in the power of that emotion at that time. He's worked up. So when he's turned his back, meaning he's normalized, his emotions subside, and the intellect increases or the wisdom increases, then you educate what you want to. At the moment, like you people are sitting. So Ibrahim Islam say, I will turn your plan or machinate for your idols artfully. And how he does it is mentioned in Surah As-Saffat 37, 91 to 93. فَرَاغَ إِلَىٰ آلِهَتِهِمْ فَقَالَ أَلَا تَأْكُلُونَ مَا لَكُمْ لَا تَنْطِقُونَ فَرَاغَ عَلَيْهِمْ ضَرْبًا بِالْيَمِينِ. So he dodged towards their gods, then said, do you not eat? What is the matter with you? You do not speak logically? Then he dodged over them, striking with the right. This is the way he did it. How? What are the idols of mankind? Come on. The emotions, the feelings. So it is a part of our own self. It is not something out, it is a part of our self. Emotions and wisdom. Feelings or intelligence. Remember this. So at the moment intelligence they have turned their backs toward their emotions and intellectually they are listening, people. So you look at my fingers. So human being is like this. Suppose this is the intelligence and this is the behind is the emotions. Right? And if the emotions come forward, this is emotions come forward, intelligence goes back. You see? You understand this? So Ibrahim al-Sam says, I will devise artfully, meaning when you turn your back towards your emotions. So that means intellect come forward. This is intellect and the emotions are behind. At this time I will do. Remember this, look at my finger, it's very important. This is the intellect and this is the emotion. Now he says, Ibrahim said he dodged towards their gods and then said, do you not eat? So he is dodging, meaning he is dodging towards the emotions. So he's referring to the emotions, dodge. So people in the audience and where the lecture is being heard is like he dodged. What is a dodge? That you think he's saying to the emotions, but actually he's talking to you. He dodged to the emotions and he said to you, do you not eat? This is an idols. Remember this. He's not talking to the emotions. He's talking to the intellect of the wisdom of the mankind. But he dodged toward the emotions. That means as if he's talking about the emotions. All the time I was describing the emotions. So now I'm not talking about the emotions. So he dodged towards the emotions, to the idols, and said to him, to the person who is involved, do you not eat? What is the matter with you? Now, people are thinking he's talking about the idols. He's not talking about the idols, he's talking to you, the mankind, the intellect, the wisdom. Do you not eat? What is the matter with you? He's talking to you, the intellect and the wisdom of that person. He dodged. As if he's talking about the emotions. No, now he comes towards him. He dodged towards the gods, the idols, and he said, do you not eat? Dodge means he's not actually talking about the emotions, he's now talking to the intellect, the wisdom. Do you not eat? What is the matter with you? Do you not speak logically? He's talking to this wisdom, the person who is logical and the power of reasoning. Logic and reason he uses, the wisdom and intellect. So he's talking to the intellect of the human mankind. But he dodged as if he's talking about the emotions. And he's talking to the emotions, to the idols. So he dodged towards the idols and he speaks to the wisdom of the intellect of the man. Do you not eat? Can you not speak logically? Now people realize he's not talking to the idols, he's talking to us. You understand? So the people shifted towards the intellect. And the moment they shifted towards the intellect, he dodged over them. Now he dodged over them, means that he's not talking to the intellect. And then he strikes with the right to the emotions. You must understand this. Once people realize he's talking about the emotions, the idols, not us, not the intellect, the wisdom. Because wisdom, by intellect, you're understanding the thing. Intellect and wisdom is used to understand and comprehend. And the moment the people understood he's talking to us, so he dodged towards them and strike the emotions or strike the idols by the right, by the governing ayahs of Allah's ayahs. What is the truth? You understand this? Surah Anbiya 21 and 58 ayah. فَجَعَلَهُمْ جُذَاذًا إِلَّا كَبِيرًا لَهُمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ يَرْجِعُونَ. Why he did it? So he says, so he made their gods, idols, chips, small pieces, except their great one, so that they turn toward him. That is the reason he did it. So the moment they understood that he's talking to us, to our intellect, the wisdom, their feelings are subsided, meaning they become chips, small pieces. They are subsided, their feelings and emotions, their idol gods. So, but the one thing idol is remaining is the great idol. the great idol of all mankind is who? Allah, God. Now remember this, God or Allah is known to all mankind of the world. All mankind. But he is an idol. Because he doesn't communicate. He has self-carved the personality of God as Rama, as Krishna, as Buddha, or as incarnation of mankind and things. And the real God is also an idol until he communicates. So the reason he did it, accept their great idol, so that they turn towards him. Meaning turning towards the real God, so you understand what Allah says in the ayahs. Otherwise you have carved a concept of God. You seek aid with him in your imagination. You have fantasized that God in your mind, which is not real. He is not speaking to you. He is not talking to you. He is not responding to your problems. Until you read the ayahs of the Quran, he will answer in the ayahs. What's your problem? All mankind, even the so-called label Muslim, have got the concept of God as an idol. Until you read the ayahs, and when you comprehend the ayahs intellectually, you understand this is what Allah says. This is not I have carved in my mind about Allah. What you carved is your concept, is not what Allah says. So this is what the purpose of Ibrahim alayhi salam was, that he made the idol chiefs accept their great idol one, idol God, so they may turn towards him, meaning they turn towards the Quranic ayahs, so they understand Allah's message. So the communication will start. Otherwise, you have the concept of God in your own mind. And believe me, the atheists, the agnostics, all the people who say they don't believe the God, they are talking about their own carved God, or what they hear from the world, the concept of God. Because people in the world, when they say, I don't accept God, I don't believe in God, ask him what God you are talking about. It is his own carvation. He makes that God and then he rejects. That God speaks to you. A creator almighty has created all the universe and the galaxy. Can he not speak to us? The most basic reason to understand, we are speaking to each other. We can understand. Allah has given the language to speak and communicate. So Allah uses a language to communicate in the Quranic ayahs. He is communicating to us. But if you do not understand the essence and the message of Allah's ayahs, that means you have carved in the concept of God of your own, and then you reject, I don't believe in God. Do you know what the Quran says? Do you know what Allah says? So people think that no, God doesn't speak. Idol God. So by your wishful thinking, you get the concept of God, and you think God did this for me, and God speaks to me in my ears, and something good happens and something bad happens. You know, is God doing it in your own mind? So this is the idol, that great God will be of all mankind if he doesn't understand or communicate by the ayahs or his words of the Quran. Once you read and understand, that is Allah communicating to mankind through the ayahs. If you do not know, so he is an idol God. So he broke the idols, Ibrahim Islam broke the idols for the purpose that they should turn towards him for communication. Now what happened in Surah Al-Anbiya 21 and 59, 60 and 61? قَالُوا مَنْ فَعَلَ هَذَا بِآلِهَتِنَا إِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ قَالُوا سَمِعْنَا فَتًى يَذْكُرُهُمْ يُقَالُ لَهُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ قَالُوا فَأْتُوا بِهِ عَلَىٰ أَعْيُنِ النَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَشْهَدُونَ. They said, who has done with our gods? Surely he must be from the oppressors. They said, we have heard a young man mentioning about them for him. For him they say Ibrahim. They said, then bring him before the eyes of the people so they bear witness. When Ibrahim alayhi salam broke the idols of mankind, so they said, who has done this with our gods? Who has done this with our gods? Surely he must be from the oppressor. People's reaction, they said he must be from the oppressor who has break our gods. So to whom that occurred, they said, we have heard a young man mentioning about them. For him they say Ibrahim. He's called Ibrahim. So these people said, they said, bring this Ibrahim alayhi salam before the eyes of mankind so that they bear witness that he has done it. Let's find out, did he do it or he didn't do it. So we'll bear witness. So he'll bear witness that he did it. So what happened in continuity? So they are asking this question to Ibrahim alayhi salam when all people were in front of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Qalu, they said, Anta fa'alta hada bi aliyatina ya Ibrahim? They said, are you the one who has done this with our gods? O Ibrahim, are you the one who has done this with our gods, O Ibrahim? قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم إن كانوا ينطقون. He said, no, he has done it. This is their great one. So question or ask them if they are logical. So when he was brought in front of the people, so they asked Ibrahim alayhi salam pointedly, are you the one who has done this? Are you the one who has done this with our gods? So Ibrahim answers. He said, no, the great one has done it. The great one has done it. Ask them, question them if they can speak logically. In apparently, Ibrahim alayhi salam planned for the breaking of the idols, and once he breaks the idols, so when questioned to him, are you the one who did it? He said, no, it is the great one who did it. Ask them if they can speak logically. So how is this that he did it, but he's saying that Allah did it? Why would he say that? Because Allah's messengers and the prophets, they speak on the behalf of Allah. So it was not his personal action doing to breaking of the idols. It was a direction by Allah to Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he is breaking the idols but referring to Allah. Won't he? So it is not a lie. He says, yes, ask these people that the great one did it, that Allah did it. Because it is always Allah working through his messengers and prophets. So the prophets are the representations of Allah's message. So he cannot say that I, a human being, did it as a human person. The messengers are always referring to Allah. Allah did it. So Ibrahim alayhi salam said, ask these people, because they cannot speak logically, because they are not in communication with Allah first. They cannot respond to him. He says, ask them if they can speak logically, because they have no communication with God, their idol God. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to this ayat, did not lie. People are accusing that Ibrahim alayhi salam lied in the Quran. No. He did it because he said it, Allah is doing through him. Always remember this. The messengers cannot take the credit as a human. They have to refer to the Allah Almighty, and his breaking of the idol was also saying this, that he make them chips so that they turn towards him, towards Allah. So that is why he said that he did it. ask them if they can speak logically. Now, what the story or the narration around the world is to be found in Gospel of Barnabas. In the same narration that I read to you, according to the Christian Bible, Barnabas is a disciple mentioned in the Bible in Acts 4 verse 36, Galatians 2 verse and 9, 1 and 9. This word Barnabas is a person mentioned in the Bible. So I will just read it to identify that there are people who are listening to this narration, that how Ibrahim al-Islam broke the idols. And that I read in 27 verse. Then said Philip, O Master, how came it past that Abraham's father wished to burn his son? Jesus answered, one day Abraham, having come to the age of 12 years, his father said to him, tomorrow is the festival of all the gods. Therefore, we shall go to great temple and bear a present to my God, great Baal. And thou shalt choose for thyself also a god, for thou art of age to have a god. Abraham answered with guile, willingly, O my father. And so betimes in the morning, they went before everyone else to the temple. Before people reaching the temple, Ibrahim and his father was in the temple. But Abraham bare beneath his tunic an axe. He hid the axe. Whereupon, having entered into the temple, as the crowd increased, Abraham hid himself behind an idol in a dark part of temple. His father, when he departed, believed that Abraham had gone home before him, but he was hiding behind that idol, an idol in the dark. Wherefore he did not stay to seek him. So Abraham's father left and all people left. Abraham was left alone in the temple, hiding behind one of the idol. When everyone had departed from the temple, the priest closed the temple and went away. Then Abraham took the axe. Abraham took the axe and cut off the feet of all the idols except the great god Baal. At his feet he placed the axe. Amid the ruins with the statues made, for through being old and composed of pieces fell in pieces, because they were made of clay. They all broke up, they fell into pieces, all these physical idols, except the great Baal. He put the axe in there. Thereupon Abraham, going forth from the temple, was seen by certain men who suspected him of having gone to thieve something from the temple. They thought that Abraham may be there for stealing. So they laid hold on him, and having arrived at the temple, when they saw their gods so broken in the pieces, they cried out, come quickly, O men, let us slay him who has slain our gods. They ran together, there about 10,000 men with priests, and questioned Abraham of the reason why he destroyed their gods. So finally they all get together and are questioning Abraham in the Bible of Barnabas, Gospel according to Barnabas. Abraham answered, you are foolish. Shall then a man can slay a god? You people are foolish. Can a man can slay God? It is the great god Baal had slain them. So you know that axe is which he had near his feet. You can see the axe near his feet. Certain is that desire no fellows. Now the concept of the physical idol breaking is mentioned in the Gospel of Barnabas, that there was a temple, and in the temple there were gods, and he physically broke those idols, and then he kept the axe there. The Baal god, they referred as the Baal, which in Arabic means husband. Anyway, so this narration of physical breaking of the idols is mentioned in the Barnabas, not in the Quran. So in that context, I come back to Al-Anbiya 21 and ayah 64. فَرَجْعُوا إِلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ فَقَالُوا إِنَّكُمْ أَنْتُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. So they turned toward their selves and said, you are the oppressors. You are the oppressors. Because Ibrahim al-Islam, when broke the idols except the great one, so Ibrahim al-Islam said to the people, ask them if they can speak logically.